Did you ever wonder, or did you ever ask yourself, what are the most expensive items in RuneScape 3, and maybe more importantly, how do you actually obtain them while playing? If so, this video is definitely the right one for you, so don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a comment with some critics, and let's head right into it. On the list, on top, we will always, I think, have the Christmas cracker and all the different color original party hats. These are actually items that were introduced in the game in 2001 in terms of a Christmas event. And back in the days, you could get those party hats and the Christmas cracker almost everywhere. They were just dropped on the floor and given from moderators to players and all that shenanigans because, yeah, it was just fun to give the community all that stuff while Christmas was going on. Since then, they actually became discontinued, so there is no way of obtaining them in the game while playing, for example with a boss loot or something. So the only way to obtain them is by trading it in a grand exchange, basically from a player that was active in 2001 and still have the party hats or a Christmas cracker on his back. And if we look at the prices of these items, we can see that the Christmas cracker is way more expensive than all the party hats, and the question stays, why is this so? And I think this is kinda hard to answer because there is not a right or wrong answer right here, I think. But fact is that when you open a Christmas cracker, you can get any of the party hats or another useless event item, lol. But if we look at the prices, you will always make a loss if you open a Christmas cracker. But I guess that because these were opened back in the days, because everyone wanted a party hat, that there are just almost no Christmas cracker left. I mean, even if you look in the grand exchange, how often they get traded, you see that, yeah, for example, in the last half a year, they were like traded 20 times or something, not even, I think. In comparison, the most expensive party hats, the blue party hat, was definitely traded way more in the grand exchange. I think this is easy over 100 times, and there was even a day on the 14th of January where the blue party hat was traded 11 times a day, so almost the same amount as the Christmas cracker was traded in half a year. And yeah, all the party hats are, I think, really a nostalgia and a prestige item today. So having one is a really cool achievement, but to get it, you, as I said, have to buy it from another player, which means that you have to farm at least about 40 billion coins, which is just a lot, you know. Next up on the list, we have the Black Santa hat. The Black Santa hat actually shares kinda a similar story, because you could obtain it in 2013 in the Christmas event. While receiving a festive cracker, you could open it and had a 1 in 2000 chance to get this Black Santa hat. And I think the reason why this one is so expensive is just because in 2013 there were not a lot of players left that played the game, and let's be honest, they were also kinda rare to get. And since black items are always kinda popular in the RuneScape 3 community, this item ranks up as the first or most expensive items after the party hat. After the Black Santa hat, we have a kinda useless item, I think. It's the half-full wine jug, and this item is actually also kinda discontinued, because back in the days when you were drinking a wine in RuneScape 3, or as it was known then, just RuneScape, it would always have 2 sips. So basically, when you had a jug of wine and you drank it, it would become a half-full wine jug. And since 2001 this was changed, and you just have to drink a wine jug once and it's completely empty. So you cannot get this item anymore just because they updated it and you can drink a full jug of wine in one go. So this item is just insanely rare. And I mean, even rarer than the Christmas cracker. In the last half a year, it was traded 8 times. There's almost no one in the game that has one of these half-full wine jugs. And if you see one, or you know one, or you have a really old account and this half-full wine jug is still on there, this item is actually a treasure and is so insane expensive, even though it's completely useless. Next up, we have actually the first item that is not completely discontinued, yet still really expensive because really rare. It's the black party hat. And the Black Party Hat is actually an item that you could obtain in the 2023 Christmas event and also the 2024 Christmas event. And I think it will also be obtainable in the 2025 Christmas event. But it's so insanely rare that there are almost none in the game. And even though it's not discontinued, you can only obtain it during Christmas. And since I already mentioned, the color black with these special item is always really popular in the community, this item has an insane price of 13 billion coins. So if you play at the Christmas event in 2025 and you receive one, you could earn an absolute fortune right there. And to be honest, the Black Party Hat is also looking really cool. After the Black Party Hat, we have an item, or the first item, the most expensive item that you could technically obtain always, all the time while playing the game, not only during an event, and it's not discontinued. And this item is the Orlando Smith Hat. The Orlando Smith Hat is actually an item or a hero item and is insanely rare to get. You have actually two chances. Chance number one is a 1 in 8,379 chance of obtaining it from a magical dice T5. This is a magical dice that you would get when you do a lot of questing. Then you get them as reward from a Maze quest caravan. And if you get one, and I think you can only get a few, I think 4 or something on your account, you have a 1 in 8,379 chance to get this hat. So it's pretty unlikely. But you can also get it from a reward casket, a master reward casket. So you could complete master clues and then you could get it out of there. But there is only a 1 in 105,000 chance to get it there. So you had to complete 105,000 master clues, which is just an insane number to even have the chance to be on drop rate. And I think this is why the item is so insanely expensive. There are actually other hero items that are also really expensive. For example, the Hazelmere Signet Ring, which is basically the best luck ring in the game, and you can just obtaining by playing the game and having a tier 4 luck ring activated. So for example, having a Luck of the Dwarfs ring on, or the augment unlocked with archaeology, the artifact unlocked with archaeology, and then just playing the game with the tier 4 luck and being so insanely lucky. I mean, then you can just potentially kill a greater demon and have a chance of 1 in 14 million to get this ring. So it's the luck version of the Orlando Smith Hat. You just need an insane amount of luck while playing the game, but technically you could earn it, and a Hazelmere Signet Ring would have worth about 7 billion coins. There are also 2 other items that you could obtain that are hero items. One is a Tavia's fishing rod and the other one is a Guildmaster Tony's Maddock. By being insanely lucky while fishing or training archaeology. So hero items are basically obtainable in today's game, but are so insanely rare that you will most likely not get one, even though you're maybe playing the whole day. Next up on the list, we have actually the first items that are obtained kinda normal during the game, and these are the Blood and the Third Age die. They are just clue items that you can get out of clues, and different than the Orlando Smith Hat, you have not a 1 in 105,000 chance to get one if you're completing a clue, and rather your chance is a 1 in 52,000 chance, which is still really low, but you could also get it from a elite clue, for example, in a 1 to 52,000 chance, or a magical dice tier 4, which is the lower tier than the tier 5 from this quest caravan, and there you have a chance of 1 in 2,996. So basically this is just a reward from doing clues. It's insanely rare, but technically you could get it all the time, and it's way more obtainable than the Orlando Smith Hat. And still, if you get one, you will get about 8 to 10 billion coins, which is just insane how expensive these items are. But you are maybe asking yourself, I'm now telling you about all these items that are so insanely rare and you cannot obtain anymore. And if you look at the list, we will get again a lot of discontinued festive items. For example, the Halloween masks from 2002, the Santa hat from 2002, the Holy Wrench from 2014, and also the pumpkin and the Easter egg, which are all just these discontinued festive items that have worth a lot of money, but the only way to obtain it is to just buying them from different players, because there is no legal way to get them in the game on any other way. So let's have a look at the most expensive PVM items that you could, for example, get while killing a boss. And up here, and definitely the most expensive drop in today's game, is the Shard of Genesis Essence. The Shard of Genesis Essence is actually an item that has worth over 2 billion coins, and it is simply obtained by killing the Sanctum of Rebirth, the last boss Nakatra, in hard mode. And to be honest, the chances of receiving it isn't that low. It's a 1 in 80. And this actually means that I myself also once got one of these in a chest, and I think I have about 100 Nakatra kills. So this item is definitely obtainable. It's not like the clue items where you just basically have the luck of once in a lifetime, but in this case it's actually really doable. If you are able to kill the Sanctum of Rebirth in a hard mode, or you take your time to learn it and then you can farm it, this is definitely the most expensive item that is actually obtainable through the game with normal playing. And you may ask yourself, why is it so fucking expensive then? And the reason is kinda simple. Because first of all, the hard mode Sanctum of Rebirth is not really the favorite of the people out there. And I think there are not a lot of people that can actually farm it or actually like to do it. So there is not a lot of these in the game, because simply the boss gets not killed that much. But I think really more important and why it's so expensive is because it doesn't matter which combat style you use. If you want to have the best in slot gear for your combat style, you need one of those Shard of Genesis, because the Shard of Genesis essentially just upgrades tier 95 weapons to tier 100 weapons. For example, the Sword of Zack, also the weapons from the Arc Glacier, or the Bow of the Last Guardian from Zamorak, Fractured Staff of Armadale from Kerpak, Roar of Awakening, and the Ode to Decide from Nakatra herself will also get upgraded these ways. And last but not least, the Omniard and the Soulborn Lantern, it's the same way for them. For every player out there that wants to have the best in slot gear, and let's be honest, we all want to have that, will need at least one of those Shards of Genesis. So they are really popular, and there is not a lot of them in the game, and that's why they are so fucking expensive. Then we also have different drops that are really expensive, and I mentioned them already. It's like the Bow of the Last Guardian, the Fractured Staff of Armadale, or also the Exec Kill, the Sword from Zack. But different than with the Shard of Genesis, you're not able to get them as a whole, so you don't get one drop and there is the weapon. Rather, you have just to earn the pieces. And then there is the most expensive one, for example, the top of the Bow of the Last Guardian, which costs about 990 mil. A hilt from the Zack Sword costs about 400 to 500 mil. And a piece of the Fractured Staff of Armadale lies between 500 and 700 mil. So they are still really expensive if you get one of those, but they are not the most expensive out there. Yeah, so I think there you have it, folks. These are some of the most expensive items that are out there in the game, and obtaining one of those will make you definitely really rich. And let me know in the comments, did you ever get one of those items in the game? Or do you maybe have one of those items still because you played, for example, in 2001? I think this would really be extremely interesting to know. And otherwise, I have nothing to tell you guys anymore. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a nice day. And bye.